They are not really authorized to provide cable TV service in your municipality. They don't have a franchise. And then they've been given a temporary operating authority, and that expired years ago. So they are really not in authority to be giving you the cable service. And so you really don't have anybody of authority to pay. So we can start a revolt that way, maybe. Can you sing God Be With You Till We Meet Again? God be with you till we meet again. Keep his loving arms around you. What? What else?
Start again?
Yeah, start again. You do it.
God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold me, in his arms securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, thank you. A chat with Glendora is done and ready for next Tuesday editing on September 5th. Everything is labeled, put away, and ready to go. And what does that take? Oh, it took what, 4 hours last night, and it took 2 hours today. And now we have to turn our attention to this paper from the United States District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, Detroit. And this is an order to show cause from a judge named Rosen. On the title page, and this is Glendora versus Gerald Levin, and the cause of action is that these cable companies say they don't have to cable cash your program unless you are a resident of the community. There is no legal basis for that. That has no legal basis. None at all. In fact, it's the antithetical to Congress's law, the Cable Act of '84, that says they wanted the widest diversity of information possible to go to you, the public. So that is the cause of action there. And this Rosen, who's a United States District Judge there, wrote an order to show cause why Glendora's case cannot be dismissed. This is so phony. For lack of personal jurisdiction. 2, for improper venue. 3, on res judicata collateral estoppel grounds. And 4, for failure to state a claim. Well, I certainly stated the claim, I just stated it to you. So this is all very phony. And so I am going to write this paper now. I'll start writing it now. The first page is written, and I'll read you that if I can find it. Glendora shows cause why Rosen cannot dismiss her case. Under penalty of perjury, Glendora tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and always has. So help her God. Rosen's law clerk does not. Glendora's case cannot be dismissed. See infra. And here's a ruling from the Second Circuit, United States Court of Appeals, that's your circuit, that in view of the well-settled rule, particularly applicable to pro se civil rights actions, that a complaint should not be dismissed unless it appears beyond doubt that the plaintiff can prove no set of facts in support of her claim which would entitle her to relief. Branham versus Clark, 927, Fed 2nd, 698 705. Second Circuit, 1991, Conley versus Gibson. That alone should stop Rosen and wake him up. Okay, so I will continue. And what is Franklin doing? Franklin, tell the people what you're doing.
I'm finishing up the reply you made to Cablevision.
Public access rules number 3, which are just as illegal as number 1 and number 2.
Right.
And what pages are you making? How many copies are you making? How many sets?
15.
15. And what pages?
41 to 50.
41 to 50?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. So I'll go write this. Now, I'll keep you posted. And I would have been at that videotaping. Well, we got along very well on Rosen, show cause. We're up to something show cause number 12. He has a personal interest in this, right? Glendora reports on TV how bad the courts are, right?
Yes.
And she's already reported on TV, and he knows this, how bad the district court was, United States District Court Detroit, in messing up the filing of the complaint and losing the complaint or destroying it.
Right.
So, is he going to rule for Glendora to be on more cable TV systems to tell him how bad the federal courts are? So, Glendora has made an application that Rosen recuse. So we're getting along well, and we'll read you the whole thing as soon as it's written. And we had to stop everything. Franklin did 8 of his sheets out of 10. You're up to what, page 48 now? 7, 8, 9, 10. Why was 6 mad at 7? Franklin, why was 6 mad at 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's awful. So I'll read it to you as soon as it's written. And now, do you know where we're going? We're going back to Eastchester, Tuckahoe, to Ackerman, and see the hoodliner. It's 5 o'clock. I'd better fix what?
Well, there's oil blowing out. You need a new hose over there or whatever.
A new hose?
A hose, let me show you. Now, here.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Now look, here.
Uh-huh.
This hose here blows oil out of here.
Oh,
Look,
okay.
Look here, look.
Oh, yeah.
Here, this is...
Oh, yeah, it should be just put in there, that's all.
So you put a new hose in there, and did you... I think that's EGR valve there.
Okay. Oh, look at the hood liner. Oh, I wanted that so much.
I'll show
What
you.
is this made out of?
Huh?
What is this made out of?
It's foam.
Foam.
Yeah.
That's what the new cars have?
New ones have.
And it's better than what we had?
Yeah, but they don't. Let me show you the old one there you have.
Okay.
How much oil is on there.
You see how I got it all cleaned up for you?
Yeah.
All newly painted. Are you ready to put it down?
Yeah.
Okay, down.
And
Oh.
I showed you change that hose because it blows oil over.
Okay, wait just a second. Let me see that.
That one there. That's so loose. You don't get your hands all.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Change this hose.
Yeah.
Okay, change that
Or
hose.
maybe the valve. Who's your mechanic?
Joe
Ask,
Fiorella.
ask Joe because it's blowing oil out of there.
All
Look,
right.
it's blowing it all over.
Oh, we can't have that. Oh, poor baby. Oh, yeah. What did you use that as a pattern?
Yeah.
Oh, that poor
Here,
Kurt.
look at the oil.
Oh.
Here, look at the oil all over the place.
Oh, look at the oil all
Yeah,
over the
all right.
place. You use that for a pattern, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's good. And so this material is what the new cars use.
Yeah.
What is that old material? What did they used to use?
This the spun fiberglass. Nobody
Look at your
has
hand.
it. Yeah, let me just wash my hands now.
Is it fun?
What?
Is it fun?
Yeah.
What are you making?
I'm making cushion.
A cushion.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah, I have to know what to do. I know very well what to do.
Where did you learn how to do it?
I in my country.
What country's that?
Dominican Republic.
Oh, Dominican Republic.
Yes. Not about 35 years doing that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
35 years doing that.
I never worked other job.
Only job you ever had.
The only job I have.
One time you were in the Air Force.
Yeah, being in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
How many cushions did you make? 2?
Right now, 7.
7?
Right now.
There's one of those fat Lincolns. Pudgy Lincolns.
They're looking for something.
I like the old box ones. I don't think you can beat the lines. Think of the upholstery business.
Bye-bye.
I don't know, it's work,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you enjoy it?
Very nice.
Yeah. Is it creative?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Right. You got to be an artist, right? Yeah.
Yes, you can make up things and make things real nice.
You learn how to pad things, right?
That's it.
How about padding the bill?
That's it too.
Ackerman, how did you get into this business?
How did I get into this business? That's a long story. I was an apprentice with 14. I was 14 years old,
Wow.
and
Did you or?
my mother signed me up on an apprenticeship for 3 years. We didn't get any pay. It was,
You don't mean it, really?
there was no pay. It was just like weekly pocket money for candy and movie. That's it, you know, like this. It was 3 marks.
Really?
3 marks first year. Second year was 5 marks, and the third year was 10 marks.
Where was that?
I was in Germany. It
Oh,
was a
they-
town near Heidelberg.
And then what happened?
And when your apprenticeship is over, you have to take a test. There was 4 days working, and 1 day you went to the trade school, complete day. That was for 3 years.
No wonder you know what you're doing. 3 years?
3 years was the apprenticeship.
Really?
Yeah. And then you get a degree that you're a mechanic. And you cannot break that commitment. You have to stay. You want to show me? I'll show you.
You said that is your degree.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Well, it's in German. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. What does it say?
Gesellenprüfung, you know.
That's your degree.
That's my degree.
How long
because
did you-
I finished the apprenticeship
Yeah.
and I passed the test and everything. Yeah.
So that's because you finished the apprenticeship
Yes. Yeah.
and you passed the test.
Yes.
How long was this academy? How long was that?
3 years.
Oh, that's part of the...
That's part of the thing.
I see, yeah. Oh, that's marvelous.
And then, you with your degree, you can go to any shop. You say you're a mechanic.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting,
Yes.
Mr. Ackerman.
Right. Oh, comes in here a lot.
Bobby Crimmins.
Brother. That's his brother.
Yeah.
Bobby Crims, that's a coach from Georgia Tech. He was the coach.
Oh, from
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. Bobby
he-
Crims.
Yeah.
And you got his autograph.
Yeah.
Because his brother comes in.
Clay, we did some work. There's Ron, there's me. We did.
It's soft and pretty.
Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, he's on the other phone now.
It's wrong.
So, can you hold on a minute?
That's so soft.
All right, Grace. You know,
Adam Grace, hockey player.
yeah.
He comes here quite a bit.
I mean, now they're in New York. He
Oh,
he
yeah.
was a customer of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long you been here, Mr. Ackerman?
Over here?
Yeah.
It's 12 years now, and I was 27 years in Bronxville
Oh,
by the hospital there.
oh really?
Underneath the, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all you've ever done, isn't it, since you were 14 years old?
That's it. That's the only thing I ever did. Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
Well, your mother did a good thing.
yes, you know.
Yeah.
Heat oven to 350F
Yeah.
and do not exceed it.
Remove tray from outer carton. Remove film cover.
Okay,
Place tray on a baking sheet
okay,
on center rack in oven.
okay,
Cook 38 to 40 minutes.
okay,
Carefully remove baking sheet with tray.
okay.
Let stand on baking sheet 5 minutes.
Okay, that's because it's very hot. 38 to 40?
Keep frozen until ready to serve.
Good enough.
Yes.
Good enough.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sound good to you?
Yes. Oh yes.
I'm going to review it. 38 to 40 minutes. Lasagna, vegetable lasagna. 2 servings. 350 degrees. Put it on a baking sheet and take off the film top.
Put it in the middle rack.
Middle rack. Thank you. Before you eat it, because it is very, very hot. Delicious. So are they done yet? How much do they cost, do you know?
$1.20, $1.30.
Oh,
That's a guess.
okay. Do we have to wait? Can you get rid of that blot? Why should you have that blot there? Here. All right. Count to 5 and sing.
5.
This is Glendora's shows cause why Rosen cannot dismiss her case. This is Glendora versus Gerald as Levin. The cause of action is that public access people will not cable cash your program if you live outside of the community, and there's no legal basis for that. And the as I read on the second edition, this is the third edition, program number 2821, that there is no legal basis for that. Congress never made any such law, so that's certainly one show cause. The other show cause I read to you was because Glendora has a ruling in her favor in view of the well-settled rule particularly applicable to pro se civil rights actions, that a complaint cannot be dismissed unless it appears beyond doubt that the plaintiff can prove no set of facts in support of her claim. Well, Glendora is pro se, and 5, the court is mandated to execute pro se leniency. That means that the court must interpret the complaint in light most favorable to the plaintiff. Rosen, law clerk, order to show cause, fails to do this. This is a civil rights case. It is about free speech. This is not only Glendora's free speech, Americans' right to impart, but the public's First Amendment right to know, your right to know. As a true American, Rosen should be jumping out of his shoes to uphold the USA way of open speech. He should bristle at the very thought of limiting the public forum of public access. Remember, public access is both a traditional forum, started in 1972, 28 years ago, but it's also a designated public forum. The Cable Act of 1984 codified as 47 U.S. Code Section 521 et sequitur. Now this is Rosen's chance to be a hero judge like Judge Green, busting up AT&T. Who is Rosen? Rosen is the United States District Judge assigned to this case in the Detroit, Michigan. I mentioned Judge Green here dissolving AT&T. Well, Judge Green's accomplishment is woefully eroding under the Patsy FCC and FTC. We have Horizon, Bell Atlantic, it's all going back again. But instead, Rosen squanders taxpayer funds to whip his law clerk to find as many cop-outs as he can. So, show cause number one is that Glendora's case cannot be dismissed. Have you given Glendora her right to show, beyond doubt, that she can prove no set of facts in support of her claim? No. Have you intercepted stare decisis? Well-settled rule? No. Show cause number two. Have you tried to eschew Glendora's rights, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rules 24 to 2037? Yes. Yes. These are the discovery rights invoked paragraph 15 supra. Show cause number three. Rosen's dismissing Glendora's complaint would be an abominable slaughter of due process, 5th and 14th Amendments. Additionally, the Bill of Rights Constitution of the State of New York. Rosen should show cause why he should even consider such fugitivism. Show cause number four. No way can defendants give any legal basis for censoring non-resident public access programs. Congress never made any such law. Rosen Ghostwriter entirely ignores the opener of Glendora's complaint, Cable Communications and Policy Act of 1984, raison d'etre, that Congress wants the widest diversity of information possible to go to the public. That's you. Show cause number five. The government has an interest in this lawsuit. The United States government has an interest in this lawsuit. Rosen's dismissal would be anti-government. What is the government's interest? Widest possible diversity of information to go to you, the public. Show cause number six. For Rosen to demand an answer to his order to show cause in 10 days from its date, August the 22nd, 2000, when it doesn't even arrive until August the 28th, is unreasonable. Glendora commenced show cause the next day as much as she could in the midst of editing 8 half-hour TV programs, public access, and in addition to making her 48th demand on Cablevision to see the shareholders list pursuant to New York State Business Corporation Law 1315A. Now these took 12 hours. And there are other legal papers due ahead of Rosen. Rosen really has to get in line. Let me add that. Rosen has to get in line. Show cause number 7. Rosen's order to show cause is arrogant and presumptuous in view of this court's record of losing Glendora's complaint or destroying it. The complaint was submitted May 20th. Glendora had to send a dupe since the court mangled the original. The court finally files August the 22nd. All of this is in rank disregard of Rule 77, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Those are the rules by which a clerk has to operate in a federal court. Show cause number 8. Rosen order to show cause has no signature. Glendora has an Article 3 right to a United States District Judge signature. No clerk can be a suffragan judge. Rosen's order to show cause is really a nullity. Show cause number 9. There is no jurat. Dated August 22nd, 2000, Detroit, Michigan. Show cause number 10. Rosen has a bias. He knows that Glendora watchdogs courts. He knows she reports what she sees and hears and reads on TV. As to the courts, Rosen knows that Glendora has already revealed the mess to you that the United States District Court Detroit has made of this case. Why would Rosen want more people to know the shambles the U.S. courts have reached? Glendora revealing this to taxpayers on 23 cable TV systems is damaging enough. Why should Rosen want to add another 47? And I quote for him the law on that, 28 U.S. Code, Section 144. Whenever a party to any proceeding in a district court makes and files a timely and sufficient affidavit that the judge before whom the matter is pending has a personal bias or prejudice, either against him or in favor of any adversary, such judge shall proceed no further therein, but another judge shall be assigned to hear such proceeding. Remember that. Title 28 U.S. Code, Section 144. Glendora further invokes Title 28 U.S. Code, Section 454, which says practically the same thing. Now, this is Glendora's application, Rosen recuse. Diverticulum. Glendora thanks Rosen for granting her motion for IFP. And here it is. Motion for IFP. That means that Glendora can proceed without paying any fees. He has waived the fees. So Glendora thanks him for that. That's as far as we got. And I forgot to look at the time that the lasagna went in. Do you know?
What time is it now?
6:25.
I should say it's been at least 10 minutes, 10 or 12 minutes.
So we'll make that 6:15. I also forgot to mention that I found a tennis ball in the yard, and Franklin and I played catch. Did you enjoy that, Franklin?
Oh, yeah.
Who got most of the exercise chasing the ball?
You did.
Yeah. Who was supposed to get the exercise?
I was.
What page you on?
Oh, all the singing and everything, I wound up with a lot of pages the same on both sides.
What page are you on?
60, 47, 48, next to the last sheet.
That's where you started.
Yes, that's right.
This is the lasagna that Franklin and I were cooking on the 3rd edition. And this is the 4th edition. Here. Have a bite. Consumer Report. Stouffer's lasagna, vegetable lasagna, is delicious. Franklin said it smells good. Do you like it? What'd you say?
Yes.
The stores sell a big Stouffer's lasagna, vegetable lasagna. It's this big, and it costs about $10, and it serves 12 people. Well, that's really good. This paper that we're writing now is to the United States District Court, Detroit, Michigan. The people who lost the complaint or destroyed it, anyway, the original is gone. And they have a very bad record. And this judge, district judge, wrote an order to show cause why Glendora's case should not be dismissed. And the first 10 pages of it, my show cause, were read on the last edition. And my show cause number 11 is that Congress wants an informed electorate, whether Rosen does or not, Rosen being the judge. Show cause number 12, no witnesses have been called, no testimony has been taken, no jurors have been sworn. Show cause number 13, Glendora has demanded a jury trial. You always put that on the complaint. Put it right on the complaint, right next to the caption, jury trial demanded, or they'll try to do you out of it. Show cause number 14, Rosen fails to serve his order to show cause on 47 defendants, so that the order is a nullity. It is really not ex parte. Ex parte means it's between one party and the judge. If Glendora sues his court, she has increased her ad damnum to $83 million. Ad damnum. A-D-D-A-M-N-U-M. That's Latin for the damages. Glendora has seen Rosen's picture in the yellow book, the court directory, and he doesn't look mean, but he does look political. Show cause number 15. A dispositive order cannot be ex parte. A dispositive order is an order getting rid of the case, dismissing it, and that can't be just to one party. Show cause number 16. It is this court that has not shown good faith, losing or destroying the complaint and writing an order to show cause with no grounds. This court must show cause why it does not do its job, uphold Title 47 U.S. Code Section 521 et sequitur, that's the Cable Act of 1984. Widest diversity of information to the public, that's to you. Congress's intent was for you to have the widest diversity of information possible. That's what cable TV public access is. The court is there to enforce the law, not eschew it. As Glendora's memorandum to the chief judge so cogently delineates, it is this court that has not shown good faith. Show cause number 17. Rosen does not paginate, nor does he number his paragraphs. Rule 7, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Show cause number 18. Rosen does not attend to the disclosure statement of interested parties. We have to know what Rosen's interests are, where he owns stock. 46th paragraph by Glendora. Glendora asks Rosen to show cause why he does not produce one of these to the plaintiff, Plaintiff Glendora. And what is one of these? Federal judges reporting greatest and least total investments. Is he investing in cable companies? Paragraph 47 by Glendora. Good faith, quote unquote, is just another dodge. Prima facie, Glendora acted in good faith. The court did not. It was a good try, but no cigar. This is so good, this lasagna. I wish I could have some, don't you? Is yours all gone? So let's write show cause number 19. Paragraph 48. This is a federal question. It's about the Cable Act of 1984. About the Cable Act of 1984. Widest possible diversity of information. This court is paid to do this act justice. It is not paid to be supercilious. It's a Latin word, you know. Cilia means eyebrows. I see you fixing your eyebrows, Franklin. And supercilious means what? Above the eyebrows. It means you raise your eyebrows, right? This court is not paid to be supercilious and superficial and spit out sophomoric sass by a fly-by-night clerk. See, they're fly-by-night clerks in the federal courts because they're there for a year and they're gone. They're fresh out of law school. They never had a job. They've never had a job. And they're slaves to the judges. While the judges are out on the golf course, the law clerks have to look up the law and write these dumb papers. This is a federal question. Of course this court has jurisdiction. This is a federal question about the Cable Act of 1984, the widest possible diversity of information to go to you, the public. This court is paid to do this act justice. The court has to do justice to this act. It is not paid to be supercilious and superficial and spit out sophomoric sass by a fly-by-night clerk. Check.
Right.
And 49, have any clerks been fired for what they did to Glendora's complaint? This is a question of national interest. Just as Glendora versus Cablevision was, when Cablevision took Glendora's program off of TV because they didn't like what she was saying. And of course Cablevision lost. This is a question of national interest, just as Glendora versus Cablevision, so all federal courts have jurisdiction over such a question. Congress made the law to be enforced. Not ignored. This is a situation where public interest versus private interests. Public interest. Public has an interest in being informed and Rosen has an interest in not informing the public. Page 13, page 14, paragraph 52. So, who will be served? You? Who will be served? The public or Rosen? Question mark. Next paragraph. Frank took away my pen.
You'll be right back.
Takes away my existence. What were we going to say? This case, a national question, has to be adjudicated on its merits in this court. If it is not, then it will have to be filed in another U.S. District Court. What page you on now? 51?
52.
52. Very good. 15 sets. That's a lot. If Rosen so has not been sold long before he met Glendora, then it is easy for him to do what is right. So I think I've finished all of my points. So I'm going to reserve on the rest of this page. Page 15. And maybe down, put reserved, put a flag up reserved, and maybe go down to the middle of the page and say Glendora scrutinizes Rosen, law clerk, rhetoric with marginalia, interlinears, and annotations. I hope I get the pages in the right order of his. They are not numbered. If you tuned in late, the cause of action in this lawsuit, Glendora versus Gerald S. Levin and 46 other defendants, is that they cop out of cablecasting public access on the weak excuse that the program is done by a non-resident cable public access producer. And Congress made no such law. And this is a challenge that this law be enforced. Here is lie number 1. Plaintiff Glendora, a resident of Westchester County, New York, acting in pro se, in pro per? Acting in what? It should be pro se. Filed the above captioned action in the court on August 7, 2000. Now this is a lie. Glendora filed it May 20th. Isn't it how quickly they lie? Against 46 cable television operators and general managers across the United States. Plaintiff alleges that these various cable television operators violated Section 531E of the Cable Communications Policy Act of 1984, 47 U.S. Code 531E. Well, this is a lie too. Okay, this is a lie also. Glendora claimed they violated Congress' demand for widest diversity of information possible. Okay, let's go on, folks. By refusing to cable telecast her program, a chat with Glendora on the local public access channels of the communities in which they operate. Based upon her financial affidavit. Well, it wasn't an affidavit, it was an affirmation. An affidavit has to be notarized, and this one was not. The court granted plaintiffs informer pauperis. Okay, that's the end of page 1. Let's paste it up here. And to that I say thank you that they granted the motion for informer pauperis. If you're a poor person, then the fees are waived. What makes me a poor person? Well, I used to have money, but I spent it all on crooked lawyers and corrupt judges and greedy court stenographers. Particularly where you have different people watching
from night to night.
From night to night. Franklin and I are considering, this is a New York Times treatment where you go into great detail. Why couldn't we do a 6 p.m. news thing where we just give you the headline news and that's it? But he says it can't be done. Okay. We will make this Part B. The scrutiny of this order. You imagine? They don't number the paragraphs and they don't number the pages. Okay, let's go on to page 2, if you can find it. Excuse me. Okay, I did Rosen's work for him. I paginated it, I think. We're done with page 1 of his order out of 5. Here is page 2. Having now had the opportunity to review plaintiff's complaint and the required civil cover sheet she completed to accompany her complaint, the court notes several deficiencies in plaintiff's pleadings. Well, how do we annotate that? The expected, right? The expected. The runaway. The runaway and dodge. Okay, let's go on to their paragraph. Uh-oh. I have to make a copy of this in case I need this order when I peel it. So I have to stop now, and I can't do interlinears on the original. Will you make me a copy of this? So we'll work on this, I guess, up until bedtime at 8:30. It's 20 minutes to 8. I'll erase. Thank you. Oh, that's too dark. Push the slide this way, please.
Another one?
No, thanks. This is lie number 3. Plaintiff served the complaint by Rule 4D and affirmed the same under oath. Court is desperate for a toss-out. Next sentence is, further, plaintiff has carefully avoided in both her complaint and the civil cover sheet alleging where the action arose. Thus the court is unable to determine that from plaintiff's pleadings whether venue in this district is proper. Well, anybody of any intelligence will see that the complaint makes it clear that the complaint arose in Glendora's life, in Glendora's address. Anybody can see the complaint arose at Glendora's address. This is opacity, right? Franklin, is that opacity?
I guess so, yeah.
Second, plaintiff refused to provide required information on the civil cover sheet as to whether plaintiff's case is one that has been previously dismissed by any court and the particulars of such previous dismissal. Glendora doesn't have to, Glendora is not required to give that information. If they want to know, look it up in West. That's why we bought them West and why we buy them computers. This is not required. It is prejudicial. If you want to know, look it up in West, and that is why taxpayers bought you computers. No other United States District Court has ever asked such a dumb thing. You are desperate for a toss-out. Rather, plaintiff wrote in the spaces provided for the information reserved. No legal, statutory, nor constitutional basis for requiring this case has to be adjudicated on its merits in this court. This is absolutely right. Making fools of yourselves. This is a frivolous order. To the extent that plaintiff believes that this court has no, quote, legal, statutory, or constitutional basis for inquiring as to whether an action she has filed has been previously dismissed by any other court, she is mistaken. No, she is not. The court draws its authority for requiring disclosure of such information from the full faith and credit clause of the United States Constitution, parenthesis, quote, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. The full faith and credit statute, 28 U.S. Code, Section 1738, and Eastern District of Michigan, Local Rule 83.11. Okay, I'll be back to you with the answer to that. This rhetoric goes on. It's up to page 3 now. And it says requiring disclosure of information, this order says, concerning previous dismissal of same of substantially similar cases ensures that the court's judicial resources are properly utilized, because the plaintiff is not entitled to relitigate cases already decided or particular issues within a case which have been or could have been raised in prior proceedings. And Glendora says this is your problem. Look it up in West. Plaintiff knows that this whole order is an attempt to get plaintiff to do the judge's work. So we'll go on to the second paragraph of unpaginated third page. Notwithstanding plaintiff's refusal to voluntarily split infinitive, bad grammar, provide the court with related case information. The court has reviewed the federal court's electronic national docket system. This is what I said. National Pacer, and notes that plaintiff previously has filed no less than 57 cases in various United States district courts, including the District Court for the District of Columbia, Massachusetts, New Jersey, the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, the Eastern District of New York, the Southern District of New York, and the Northern District of New York. Oh yeah. And in a number of state courts as well. What law is broken here? What law is broken here? The American way is to resolve disputes by courts instead of a punch in the nose. And in a number of state courts as well. Most of these cases involve plaintiffs' complaints against cable television operators and their decisions concerning the telecasting of Plaintiffs' A Chat with Glendora show and the shows of other access producers. Plaintiff named in a number of these prior actions many of the same defendants she names in this action. So she keeps naming them until she gets justice. And her complaints are litigated on their merits and not on the self-interest of judges. Right, folks? Time is up. So long, so short. back in June, and Public Access Rules 1, which they've had for a number of years. And this paper is going to the United States District Court in St. Louis. I am answering an order to show cause in Glendora versus Gerald Levin and 46 other defendants because of their refusal to cablecast a public access program that is produced by a non-resident. And this is strictly against the Cable Act of 1984, which says over and over again that Congress wants as much diversified information to get to the public as possible. You're the public. You see how important you are? And the judge on this in the United States District Court in Michigan, Detroit, they're the judges who lost the complaint. Remember, they lost it or they destroyed it and it had to be sent in over again. And I'm up to refuting the unpaginated, and the paragraphs are not numbered, order to show cause, why this case should not be dismissed. And here's a footnote. Even when there has not been a prior dismissal of a claim or claims, judicial efficiency is promoted by transferring an action to a court which is already familiar with the parties or claims. Okay, you want to know what we're going to say to that? We're going to say that a transfer, I think that's 28 U.S. Code. 28 U.S. Code, Section 1404, 1406 states a transfer has to be in the interest of justice. Glendora cannot get in her U.S. District Court due to judge. Now what are we going to call it? Corruption? What, you got a better word, Franklin? You got a better word?
No, I don't believe so.
Judge corruption. Apostasy. That's better. Apostasy. Apostasy is when you take an oath. And they take an oath to support the Constitution. That's very good. Okay. That takes care of page 3. Can you make me a copy of page 4, Franklin? Right here, sir. Thank you. And this is Katie eating away. And I say we're going to keep this up until bedtime, which is 8:30, and it's 8:05 now. This is program number 2823, Public Access Program, A Chat with Glendora. And today's date is August the 30th. Anno Domini. Okay, this is top of page 4. I had the number, as I told you, the pages. They don't know, and I guess they can't count. A number. This is A Chat with Glendora, Public Access Program, number 2822 on August the 31st, and you would think on August the 31st that we could at least have some sunshine. Please, clouds, go west to Montana where they need you so badly. This program is about, I sent my program, A Chat with Glendora, to 47 cable operations and asked them to cablecast it and get back to me as to what time and day they did that. 47 of them refused on the basis that they did not cablecast non-resident programming. Well, this is an out-and-out violation of federal law, Title 47 U.S. Code, Section 521 et sequitur, which leads off with the purpose of this act is to ensure to you, the public, the widest diversity of information possible. So I sued these 47 people in the United States District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, Detroit. You know that they lost the complaint. Unheard of. So I told them that I was going to sue them. But they got together in order to show cause why my case should not be dismissed. I have read my show cause up to page 17 on other editions. This morning I finished writing it, and I wrote the wherefore, and now I have to make 3 copies. One for the Center for Judicial Accountability Incorporated, one for you, the Glendora TV audience, and one for the court. And so that's where I am now, making the 3 sets. And as I make the 3 sets, I'm going to read you the last 18 through 30 pages, whatever it is. This little desktop copier makes the most beautiful copies. You just have to feed them one at a time. It only costs $200. Okay, so we just made copies of up through page 4. Franklin is writing his return of service on Robert M. Callaghy, the liar for hire for Cablevision, and on that law firm, Sadley, Stevens, Burke and Burke. That's on the public access kit number 3 by Cablevision, which is just as illegal as public access kits number 2 and 1. After Franklin finishes his return of service, he's going to Portchester, Staples, and then to Cablevision in Harrison to pick up the programs that have been cablecast, and then hand in the new program for New Rochelle and Harrison, Portchester. Then he goes to White Plains Public Access and exchanges tapes. Then he goes to the White Plains Post Office and buys many more dollars of postage to keep a chat with Glendora. And then he has to go west across the Tappan Zee Bridge over the Hudson River to Rockland Cablevision and pick up those tapes and leave the new ones. And then north up the Albany Post Road to Peekskill, Barbara Gelman and Cecilia to exchange tapes both for us and for the Hidden Truth. We picked those up for Lori. And then he goes east over Route 202 to Yorktown to Gary Anthony, who's so nice, and Susan, who was standing in. Then I guess he comes home. This is your return of service.
I personally served originals of the summons embossed with the court seal and the certificate disclosure of corporate interest upon Robert Callaghy and Satterley, Stevens, Burke and Burke. By personally handing same to Tammy Denver, Mr. Callaghy's secretary. The date is August 28, 2000. The location was the offices of Satterley, Stevens, Burke and Burt, the 11th floor, 230 Park Avenue, New York. The time was 3:55 p.m.
That's good. I would have put in there that you asked for Mr. Callaghan, and he was there, and he refused to come out. And he was a fugitive, right? But that's fine. You did your job. Now we'll make the rest of the form. We're almost up to the part where we're going to read to you. This is pages 17 and 18. What was written on another lawsuit. Okay, we're up to page 19. And this is paragraph 62. This sophomore law clerk who was a ghostwriter for the judge's name is Rosen. We got to find out the name of the law clerk. A number of decisions in these various cases are also published and reported on Westlaw. A cursory review of the reported cases reveals that many of the claims and assertions made by plaintiff, that's Glendora, in the instant action were previously decided against plaintiff. That's what they have written. Glendora says this is not so, but cursory is so. For example, plaintiff contends in her complaint in this action that public access is a public forum. Complaint paragraph 8. Well, at least Glendora numbers her paragraphs. Clerk and judge don't know enough to number the paragraphs, but worse than that, they don't know enough to number the pages. At least one court has already ruled to the contrary, that public access channels are First Amendment public forums. See Glendora versus Cablevision Systems Corporation, 893 F. Sup. 264, 270 Southern District of New York, 1995. Glendora versus Telecommunications Incorporated, 1996. W. Westlaw, 72. 4077 Southern District of New York, 1996. They don't take into consideration that these two judges were buddies. And they don't take into consideration that this was overruled. This court already is wallowing in pre-judgment. They want to dismiss this case. Further, says this little sophomore, first year law clerk, he just got out of law school. He's had no other job. Further, courts have previously ruled against plaintiff on one of her core contentions in this case, that cable operators exercise impermissible editorial control over public access programming when they this is a mistake of theirs, when they blank non-local programs producers to have a local sponsor. Complaint paragraph 15. They have to produce that. This is not so. This is the cause of action herein. There is no legal basis for saying, get down to the issue. Do your job. The cause of action here is that people operating public access cable TV cannot refuse to cablecast a program because it isn't done by a resident. Okay, now Franklin has made his return of service. And we will make a copy of that, and then you can sign it, and it will be an original. You have to sign it in green ink so they'll know that it's an original signature.
All of this in green.
Well, I was talking about the signature.
Oh, okay.
It would be good. It would be good all in green. Thank you very much. And here is your piece. Let's show it to the people. Return of service on the back of the summons. You have to do one for Satterley, right?
This is both of them.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I guess. And now you and I are doing page 20. That was the first half of page 19 that we read. Finally, plaintiff alleges federal question jurisdiction as the basis for this court's subject matter jurisdiction. Plaintiff's complaint in this action is predicated upon her claim that she has an implied right of action under Section 531E of the Cable Act, 47 U.S. Code, Section 531E, to recover damages from the public operators, from the cable operators who have refused to make airtime available. That's dumb. They don't have airtime. They don't broadcast over the air. That's for NBC, ABC, and CBS. They cablecast through a coaxial cable. Airtime available to her to telecast her chat with Glendora because their public, isn't that a stupid long sentence? Because their public access channels are made available only something the residents of the respective locally franchised communities. Isn't that awful? And he's still going on in this one sentence. Or because plaintiff did not have a local sponsor, quote unquote, as required for non-residents, I guess. Well, what Glendora has to say to that is that this is already adjudicated. Glendora won this. So did McClellan, Second Circuit, McClellan versus Cablevision. Glendora's cause of action is Congress's law. Public should have as wide a diversity of information as possible. Why do you miss this? You don't want this to happen. You put your interests over the public interest. They put their own self-interest over your interests, the public interests, and over the interests of Congress. Now there's a footnote here. As the Southern District of New York noted, plaintiff has a penchant for suing judges who rule against her. Glendora versus City of White Plains et al. 53F Supplement 2nd, 621, 623, Southern District of New York, 1999. And when she loses, she simply files another action in another court. Glendora versus Dolan, 871 F Supplement 174, 176, 1994. That is not what it says. These cases that he quoted, this is not what it says. And he should quote them. This is such a sophomoric paper. How could any U.S. district judge sign it? But we know the quality of clerks in the United States District Court, Detroit. Here is page 20, a refutation of this law clerk's ghostwriting for Rosen. And it's the 5th page of the order to show cause. And Glendora starts off with, what can we expect of a scriptwriter who cannot count? He cannot number his paragraphs and he cannot number his pages. Glendora sues anybody who breaks our laws and violates our rights, judges included. Law clerk says sections 531 and in its right of action provision, section 532, give the legal basis and for not sponsoring a non-residence program. In other words, quo warranto. Show by what right you claim they have a right not to cablecast non-resident programming. However, only provide a private right of action to recover damages for a cable operator who denies a plaintiff time on its public access channel based upon an impermissible exercise of editorial control. Plaintiff's theory is that cable operators exercise editorial control, that is censorship, whenever they select residents over non-residents for public access programming. No court has ever so held. Well, this court should hold that, and that's what this cause of action is about, and this court should do its duty to America and to you, the public. Glendora says about this, Glendora won this for all time. Before Glendora, United States Code annotated 531E was blank. It's obvious whose side you are on. You have no basis, and it's another lie, and prima facie, it's editorial control when you don't cablecast non-resident program. You do not have to be a Rhodes Scholar. So, this inexperienced law clerk, first job out of law school, it is hereby ordered that within 10 days of the date of this order, and that was August 22nd, plaintiff shall show cause in writing why this case should not be dismissed. 1, for lack of personal jurisdiction. 2, improper venue. 3, on res judicata collateral estoppel grounds, and or 4, for failure to state a claim. Well, Glendora says this law clerk should be dismissed, along with Jeff Colby, the law clerk who destroyed the original complaint and never told us. Where has something been a ruling that cable operators do not have to cablecast non-resident public access? That you never states any such ruling. And you are talking about the claim. Now, this is not signed. A judge has to sign an order. If the judge doesn't sign an order, then it's a nullity. His signature is not there anywhere. And we're not allowing any clerks to be suffragan judges. And so Glendora says that she wants the name of this law clerk. Why? She wants to sue him. While plaintiff did succeed in establishing that she had a private right of action sufficient to withstand a Rule 12b-6 motion to dismiss in Glendora versus Cablevision Systems Corporation, 893 F Supplement 2064 SDNY 1995. In that case, Glendora's claim was that the cable company, in concert with county officials, that's Nassau County, canceled her program because she used the show to vent her complaints against public officials. That is another lie. She used the program to warn the consumers of Nassau County that the Consumer Affairs Commission, James Picken and Thomas Galata, were not protecting the consumers of Nassau County by letting Scott Lord operate an underground lawn sprinkling business without a Consumer Affairs license. Having sufficiently alleged, and this, by the way, is an awkward construction, and this law clerk should try again. Having sufficiently alleged that she was denied access because of the consent of her show, the court determined that she had a right of action under Section 531E. Nothing in plaintiff's complaint or any of the exhibits attached thereto established that plaintiff was denied access by any of the named defendants in the instant action because of the content of her program. Yeah, it was the content of her program. She's not a local resident. That's page 20. Okay. Now, page 23. We're all through scrutinizing that piece of rubbish that came from the court. And now we're going to make some more comments, and this is part C. They're against you from the beginning. Before you go to court, a judge has already given his soul to somebody else. Who? The party, his friends, to money. It's too bad. Before you even get to court, before you even stand in front of him. I told you before, if anybody violates your rights, if any injury comes to you, please God forbid, you don't have any place to go. There's no courts left. The courts have been sold. People have bought them. I hate those lawn machines. I hate that noise. Come to the suburbs and live. Beautiful Westchester. Well, who ruins the suburbs? These idiotic lawn people. The cartridge is beginning to streak, so if you move the ink around a little bit, it lasts a little bit longer, but eventually it goes. And here's what they did with that infernal noise. They drove Katie out of her house, out of her property, and across the street. And she won't come back. And she's gone probably as far as she can go where she won't hear it. Who knows if she's going to come back? This is page 21, part C. 64. Glendora whited out the Honorable Rosen. Has not proved himself as yet to be so. And Glendora reserves. Sophomore law clerk's writing is more inflammatory than anything else. The court's job is to ascertain the truth. You should be experts at it. Sophomore argument, quote-unquote, good faith, fails. If United States District judges ruled by justice instead of by the seat of their pants, there would be no worry that judges' decisions would be consistent. Their self-interest in ingesting public interest is so rampant, the scene is hopeless. This is because judges do not adhere to the standards of justice and what the USA is. Federal courts should be standard. That is what the Federal Judicial Council is supposed to do. But judges in U.S. district courts, out of self-interest, muddy the smooth sailing with crazy local rules like the Eastern District of Michigan. Page 22. Show cause number 20. Quote unquote, no jurisdiction is a recorded announcement. Of course you have jurisdiction. You are a federal court, and this is an issue of national significance. Franklin has gone on the rounds last Thursday of the month. If cable operators in your Michigan district did their duty as to most widely diversified information, you would know these things from watching public access. You could be another Los Alamos Parker. That's the judge who freed the man who was really, to us, a frame-up about giving out nuclear secrets. Your argument falls. You did not address diversified. And this is Glendora's show cause number 21. Show cause number 22, law clerk's ramblings do not answer the question, was this cause of action, violation of diversified, brought in another court? Okay. That was page 22. Let's read you 23 and 24. 23, show cause number 23. If Rosen does not do his job and protect America and dismisses, not on the merits, this cause will have to be brought again in another United States District Court, and scant judicial resources will be wasted again. The Constitution did not intend such profligacy. Show cause number 24. What the Eastern District of Michigan has done is a heterotaxis. It is like a Picasso paintings. Show cause number 25. The Eastern District of Michigan writes legal papers as well as they file complaints. Glendora can see where this Glendora can see where this is going and what Rosen will do. Glendora wants the rights Congress gave citizens enforced. I have to do some touch-ups on page 23. Page 24, show cause 27. The Eastern District of Michigan is a poor excuse for a United States District Court. These 57 causes that you mentioned, did you scrutinize them to see how many were adjudicated on their merits? If there had not been 57 violations of the United States of America, 57 crooked lawyers, a lawyer is a lawyer for hire, and 57 corrupt judges, there would not have been these 57 lawsuits. Again, the American way is to take lawbreakers to court, not to punch them in the nose. But sometimes I think a punch in the nose is more effective than courts. And if all of the quote-unquote ifs supra in paragraph 79 had not been perpetrated, Glendora would not be in forma pauperis. She had money, but she spent it all on the lawbreakers, the liar-for-hire conclave, the corrupt judge ring, and greedy court stenographers. That's page 24. Remember to do touch-ups. Here is page 25, 26. The reason the Eastern District of Michigan has this silly quote-unquote local rule on the back of the civil cover sheet mandated by the Judicial Council instead of having the instructions on the back of the civil cover sheet is that the Eastern District of Michigan judges are schoolboy cheaters. They copy what the kid next to them is writing on the test. They cannot come up with their own answer. Show cause number 29. You are wrong in your 57 count. Glendora has many more fights for rights than that. Show cause number 30. This has already been read on TV. For TV. Glendora reads what Rosen, Ghostwriter, intones, sentence at a time. Then Glendora writes and reads what is wrong with it, so Rosen will have to recuse. He is not going to rule to have this read on 47 more cable TV systems. It is self-interest versus public interest, as the TV graphics say in colors, patriot versus traitor, saint versus sinner, David versus Goliath, inter alia. Glendora has no confidence in Rosen. This is her application pursuant to Section 144, page 8 herein. He has a bias and a prejudice, and he has to, another judge has to step in. Glendora will have to find a United States District Judge who believes in his country, who believes in America, who believes in serving the USA, not himself. Sophomore's argument about good faith, quote-unquote, was a stretch, a distortion. It would be so even for a court that did not bungle Rule 77 and did file a complaint properly. This case is not about, quote-unquote, good faith. It is about the widest possible diversity of information to the public. Looking at United States District Judges and what they do necessitates the public's need for diversity of information. In other words, this has to be exposed to you, the public, all-powerful public. That's 26. Now, this must be 27. You have to cut these perforations, these holes off, or they get printed. You write this all in a little spiral notebook. And then you do what we're doing now. Trim it and print it. Page 27. Where is Rosen's good faith in facing the guilt of not filing a complaint instead of destroying? Where is any compunction? Where is any atonement? Is that good faith? This court has jurisdiction. This is show cause number 31. Jurisdiction does not have to be in personam. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 4D is there to work. Live by it. Show cause number 32. Venue is proper. Glendora has to have a fair forum. Read Moore's Federal Practice. Viro's very long chapter, and you will see Glendora's venue is proper. Glendora has written a 70-page scholarly paper on this. Find it on Pacer. Show cause number 33. There is no res judicata collateral estoppel argument herein. Court has not found that Glendora's claim has been previously adjudicated. This is a wild flagellation by desperate law clerk, fly by night. Glendora has also written a long and thorough paper on both of these chapters in Moore's Federal Practice. Please read. Show cause number 34. Quote unquote does not state a claim is ludicrous. What do you call a lawyer with an IQ of 70? Your Honor. The claim is violation of widest diversity of information possible, 47 U.S. Code 521 et sec. What these public access operators are doing is against the USA, and it must be stopped and restrained. That is the claim. Okay, we're up to the last sheet, I believe. Rosen is corrupting the youth of America, whipping a law clerk to right this slop. This is Glendora Opus number 441, and a copy is being delivered by hand to the Center of Judicial Accountability, Incorporated. Okay. I'll read you the last page and just as soon as we make these copies. Wherefore, therefore and ergo, plaintiff Glendora has pellucidly shown cause why her